See, no, I had to miss out at camp. Just trying to do some work. So what's that show? No more work at camp. R&R. And I'll be all right. Hey. That's it. Okay, I'd like to bring the council meeting back to order, 7:13. At this time, I'll need a motion to approve the minutes.
Motion, Mr. President.
Second.
Motion by Jen, second by Nancy. All in favor? Aye, opposed? Unanimous? Mayor's report.
Okay. For August, there were 2 theft charges, 2 charges for receiving stolen property, 1 nuisance violation, 1 DUI, and 8 traffic citations. And they wanted the public to be aware that now that school is back in session, there's going to be more traffic in the mornings and afternoons with buses and everything, so just be careful. Stop at stop signs. Watch for kids. That's all.
Thanks, Carla. Committee reports. Committee reports, anybody?
I have a couple. Okay, these are called trees. The first one is the Charleston Page McCoy, property 107 South Street, in Rupert Land. It was reported to me, actually, Mindy called me because her uncle lives next door to the court. This was on August 22nd. And there's a tree near McCoy's property line, but it's actually on state land. The tree is uprooted, and if it comes down, it will take all the wires down with it. So I called Bernie Senior because he deals with the streets and also with PennDOT. He deals, a lot with PennDOT. And he said that he would go over the next day and look at the tree and also contact PennDOT about the tree. So I don't know if any of you were able to follow through with that or not, Bernie.
Yes, I did.
Okay.
And the response back, PennDOT was aware of that. It's over our signal light on slab. The tree is embedded with a number of other trees. And their concern was that that particular tree and the other trees are holding the embankment in place. And they didn't want to see the street destroyed for that fact. And,
But it is on state land,
Oh, it's
state
on
right away, and
state.
it's
It's on
their
state
responsibility. So if anything happens, that tree comes down, it's not on the borough, it's on the state.
Not the board.
Right.
And following last week's disastrous flood in the area, a number of trees were lost in that same quarter because they experienced a lot of rain runoff. And he did declare then afterwards that he was glad that tree wasn't removed at the time. However, there causes the fact that if it poses any danger, no it doesn't.
And then I left a voice for the employees of what we had done up to that point. And then I told them that I would be stopping by and taking pictures of it, which I did the following day. So I'll have a picture of the tree in that area, on the bank. But it did hold up during the rain. Shortly after that. So at least everybody's aware of the tree situation.
You said there was 2 locations?
It's at 107 South.
Oh, I thought you said there was 2.
Well, I have 7.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Then I had a contact by Ruth Selafro on August 28th for Lois Forster, and she's at 105 Northern Avenue. And she said the trees in the bank over there are full of poison ivy. And she said that it's not on Forster's property, that it could be borough or state. But J. Ford Mowing Service had been mowing that, but now he has stopped. And they're wondering if it was because of the poison ivy situation.
What's
So
the,
I
what's the
referred-
address again?
Pardon,
What's it?
105 Northern.
He did mow it a couple of days after that, I talked to you now.
Okay.
Oh, so it has been mowed?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Well, I referred her also, Bernie, because
Yeah.
he's head of the street department and the borough workers, and so what's the borough's responsibility, then we need to be able to answer her. Why did Jay not mow it? Did you find that out?
No, but he did mow it this
And
afternoon.
who hired him?
Lois hired him, she's had him all summer.
Mowing her yard,
Yes,
okay.
yeah.
But he also did that tree, or the poison ivy area, or?
No, they stay away from that poison ivy. But I did talk to Bernie, and Bernie said as soon as we have dry weather, he would have the borough employees spray that wood,
Okay, well, then,
because it was on
you don't follow
borough
through then, what
property.
you're supposed to do.
Good, thank you. Now, is she aware of that? That they'll be
Lois?
back in dry weather?
Yes.
Okay, all right,
Yes.
pass that along to her.
Yeah, I
Okay.
told her.
All right, thank you.
Okay, and then I was told after the fact that a tree on Garfield Street, that used to be like the evergreen home, it was owned by Harvey Jack, Delbert Jack. I don't know who lives there now. But the report was he cut down a tree on borough property and then burned it in his yard, neither of which are permissible.
You know the homeowners, or you said the property owners is Delmer Jack, or used
I
to
don't
be.
know who owns it.
Across from you?
Yeah,
House
they
of
have, they have
Graham?
to rent their own. And it is still doing for
All right, so we can just contact Delmer Jack.
See, I don't know these things, I don't drive around every day and see that people in the act of doing things, and they just don't always know that they are supposed to get permission,
Which,
and that's my point about getting out an informational letter to them.
which brings us back to the newsletter, which maybe we should do again. I mean, we talked about it at a prior meeting, put it in with the water bill, you know, possibly paying extra postage if needed, but that way every resident who has water gets this newsletter. And it just has to be the facts, you know.
That-
I know.
That isn't just the best situation in doing that. But if we could have a committee to form, compose an informational letter and have it printed, and then we will stuff the envelopes and she will get labels made off of the water accounts billing, and we can cover all the residents that way, but it will not be included in the water bill.
Okay. Well, now, do we want to go that route or go the route we did before when we had volunteers that hand delivered it to every resident in Muscatine?
It's up to, we could meet,
Okay.
whoever wants to be involved in this.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine.
And I have a copy of that too.
Not a girl. Good.
So we'll work off of that and then possibly add a couple more subjects, like the burning. Put that on there.
I don't want to, it doesn't necessarily have to be an exact match to what's on the website. What I want it to be is the facts, you know, like the burning ordinance and, the street committee and, events and, when stuff's picked up and going, just the facts, and the website to see, so they can go for additional information. I just want it to be a two-sided, informational letter to say, hey, this is what goes on in Muscatine.
Did your daughter not type this?
Yes. She
Nikki was involved,
yes, she
Nikki
did,
with this newsletter, and
Yeah,
she
she
said
helped
the Girl
deliver.
Scouts involved in that
Yeah,
night.
we had the Girl Scouts deliver it.
I was there, and I think Jim Sabisky and
And Patty did her section.
Patty
yeah,
did.
pretty
Yeah,
much
we
everybody
have
on the
enough
street.
people in different areas to just
Because
deliver
a lot
it.
of us don't have West County water. We're,
Oh, I was not aware of that.
yeah.
Okay.
Well-
So, hand delivery would be the best,
We'll work
Yes.
on
just so we
it.
don't miss anybody, because there's
It's
people in the
cheaper,
alleys
too.
and, but yeah, let's get
As long
together.
as, if and not.
Now, you know, remember, this was, before the website, so like I said, it doesn't necessarily mean that have to be 4 pages.
But you know, not everybody has computers. You think, put it on the website, and everybody's going to be informed. They don't all have computers.
And that's why we got rid of that, is because we went to the
When did
website.
this, Nancy, and when did they do that? And, we could just try to get at least a good coverage of the area.
You know, I'd like to get all, I don't want to spike, if you spike one person, we're gonna be hearing about it.
Cliff, can I-
How it all can be set up.
Okay, all right.
I think we could work on it.
Yeah, we can.
we have a lot of real estate people. I think it would be nice too that if, when someone moves in the area, if each of the real estate agencies at least got 2 or 3 newsletters in a month, and if you sold a house in our area, they can let the people know,
That's a great idea.
this is what you have, you
Yeah, give
know.
it in a packet to them.
Yeah,
And
Mickey's
it's-
mentioned
and it's
that a
stressed,
long time ago.
yeah, and stress to them, it's not junk mail,
Yeah.
and pitch it in the garbage, Make sure they read it, stress, say, you're moving into West County, please read this and be informed. I like that idea.
I do think if we're gonna enforce the shade tree ordinance, if we're gonna come up with a newsletter, we need to put a date and time when we're gonna start to enforce it. There's been several trees cut down.
There shouldn't be a date and time, it should be
Well, the thing
enforced
is, you
now.
can't pick out the next guy that does it if you don't say it from here on out. I mean, I don't have a problem with some of these trees being cut down. I mean, the background of these, some of these trees have been cut and half of them are dead and some of them.
Well, that's
They need
okay.
to replace them.
Right.
That's the whole thing. If you can cut it down and replace them. But there's been several trees, including the one by my house. The fellow never talked to me. By the time I get home, I think it was 20 minutes later, you came down and told me he wasn't on permit. I was involved
Yeah, but he was nice about it.
yeah.
He was not, he did not know you weren't allowed to burn, okay? Not burn huge piles of brush, we could have recreational fire, but not, and he put it out. Okay, but then again, on that, I told him that the borough would be by to pick up that brush, and it wasn't picked up. I mean, well, now, but I mean, we have to stay on that. I mean, if there's brush in some people's alleys, it needs to be picked up whenever we say it needs to be picked up, or this is gonna happen again, and I don't want that to happen. Yeah, thank you for that.
To me, the harmful thing is they didn't contact the shade tree committee, if not knowing, man, I don't know if there's any harm. But the biggest shame is they're not gonna replace it. And a lot of people do. I mean,
The big stump's right there, they won't, I took pictures, they were
Let me see.
back.
I just think that, if they replace the tree, the situation is that tree is in bad shape too. We need to start kind of enforcing, we can make sure that everybody knows about it. And start finding out.
That's a Mark's property, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's not on Southwoods?
No,
They talked about it.
that's on the other.
They talked
The
about it.
line-
It's on borough property regardless.
Oh, by all means. Mr. President, if I may, I don't want to belabor this discussion, but our ordinance is very definite on what has to take place before and after the fact on any of these trees. Pretty soon, if we don't enforce that ordinance, we're going to be like we're jungle here.
Well, that's-
Because it's going to be, we're not going to have what we have. And these trees in this municipality are part of the beauty.
Absolutely, and that's why we have the shade tree committee. A lot of people snub their nose at it, but like you said, you want it to be an asphalt parking lot. I mean, that's what you're gonna have.
And unfortunately, when they do get the permission to cut them down, because they're decaying or whatever it might be, and God bless these two individuals here, because they follow this program very recently. But I think it has to be insisted to the people that take these trees down, that they have only a period to replace them.
And they
They're not
don't,
doing that.
that's another thing they don't know though.
In all honesty, I don't think they think that we can find them. I don't know if they know the whole ordinance.
They don't.
Shame on us for not explaining a little bit better. In a newsletter.
And it is an ordinance.
But if you're gonna put your foot down, you need to put it down and follow up with it. Because the last 3 times,
So what
nobody
is
put
it?
it another tree. Actually, right up from this residence here, she's talking about, there's a rental property, they cut 2 trees down, and it's bare, it's been bare for 2 years or 3 years. And the guy got vouchers from LG Environment. So he had vouchers to replace the trees. And like Bernie had said, that this place, I think, beauty for municipality is trees.
And so let's try to get, volunteers from the borough council together and get started. We can follow that same format. If we want to, change it, and that's what we can discuss. All right, get your ideas together. And I think it's good. Like I said, we talked about it before, we just didn't act on it. All right, thank you.
Yes.
Okay.
We did it in 2012, and you turned it over with all my.
Was that 2012? It
All
was,
my,
it was earlier now.
all my, whatever. And you turned it over to Chase for his secretary to type it, and then they were in turn going to turn it in to the
The
new.
codification.
We never got
Yeah,
that.
that's another thing we have to
We've
address.
never gotten a codification book.
Yes, we have.
Oh, we have?
Yeah, everybody received one.
It's like a 2010.
And we were to read them all, to read it and know what we wanted to talk about, and we just never got together to do that. Is that good for the street committee? Street committee?
I'm still on this one. I only have one other comment, Master.
All right.
You know, our citizens of this community is the eyes and ears of what happens in this community. And, you know, the council people at times can't get the information when it's happening right at the period of time. And I would urge the citizens, you know, if they know about the Shade Tree Commission, they know if their neighbor's cutting something down, you know, please, just give somebody a call and say, hey, my neighbor's taking something down, and
Yeah, I hate to be
And it should
snitches,
be
but that's,
addressed to me.
you know, right, you're
I
hurting what's
think that's
intangible.
something wise to put in your, it's almost like a crime watch, you know, well, it's a tree watch. But not only that, but other things, you know, so.
I'll be quite honest with you too, I don't want to browbeat anybody over the street and the sidewalk. So if you put it cut and dry, that's what I like, cut and dry. Treat everybody the same, start at a certain date. Because I mean, the last thing I want to do is go and try to browbeat a 45, 50-year-old homeowner. I mean, here's the.
Who did not know.
Yeah, well, we put in the
possibly.
paper, you know, we need to talk about it, this is what you have to do, or, so, that's the way I feel.
I want to tear my shanty down. Do I have to get permission for that?
No. Is it on your property?
Yes.
No. Yeah, that was our next dangerous structure that we were going to look into. No, just kidding.
Oh, God, Mark's coming to visit.
Public Works,
Yes.
everything is pretty good in what's happening, and what is happening and what is supposed to happen. However, you know, we're approaching our winter season. We've only got 3 weeks left before autumn sets in. And that's the time that you're well aware that we still have a non-binding lease, if you will, that's verbal, for our salt storage, and it looks like that we're going to continue to use that facility because we're not even close to decide what we're going to do about the salt shed. So keep that in mind that
There's no problem with that?
there's no problem today. I do note that the property is up for sale, but I don't know whether anybody will approach that figure to buy that property this time. So it's still under lease by another agency. Anyway, other than that, we do know that it's well advertised. We were advertising tonight for a paper for this year, this fiscal year. And I understand with the discussion by the secretary that she does have a number of bids. And when we get into new bids, we'll proceed.
I have something under Public Works. I site visited Nixon Avenue during the deluge that we just had. And there's a portion that, and we had talked about this before, the runoff off of Nixon Avenue down in that little creek. All right, talk about farming it or whatever, which we never did. But there's a section of Nixon Avenue by the steps that people have come down Nixon Avenue and past the old gas station that's since broke off. Okay, and what's happening now, all that water's coming down there, that section of that berm and washing. Okay, it's washing that hillside away from there, and it's washing other places. I mean, there's a saddle in the middle, all right? There's a low spot, not where those steps are, but a little closer, more so towards Butler Road, all right? And I know it's gonna be an expensive project, but correct me if I'm wrong, but does a box culvert need to be put in there to collect that water that's coming down along Nixon and taking that water into that box culvert and putting it into the creek. So that doesn't wash. We're gonna lose that whole hillside. I'm not talking tomorrow.
That's actually liquid fuel money too, we can use that instead of.
Yeah, but I mean, we got Northern Avenue to do too.
I'm
It's
talking about following next year.
okay, pretty pitiful, but we need at least repair that this year before that asphalt crumbles away anymore. We're gonna lose that. It's already washing down through there. We gotta at least rebuild that curb. Right
Cliff, I
there.
think they're spraying
As long as
something.
you're going on the right of way, we can,
No, that was runoff water. That
Was that runoff?
we will address that, but.
Yeah, please look at that. At least
Concerning the
that.
steps, understand that's a private problem.
I realize that, but this is our responsibility where it's the roadway that's falling apart right there at that location and washing. But we need to at least patch that and put on for 2015, possibly a box culvert or something and diversion curbs on Nixon Avenue so we don't lose that hillside. If it falls down into that creek, we're screwed. But we'll talk about that later. But I just want to put that thought in your head.
And I stated earlier, as a private property owner, I would grant permission as long as the borough would take on the responsibility of that pipe being put on my property and fed into the stream. I have no problem.
On the other side of the creek.
Yes, I have no problem with that.
Thank you.
You worried about the streets or the steps?
The street,
I haven't seen it, it's just a question on the
we need to get a whiteboard for the new building so I can sketch things up. I miss the chalkboard.
bed. Laser one.
No. Okay, thanks, Bernie. Any other committee reports?
We comment on the construction of the new service station.
That's sort of unfinished
Publishing
business.
that.
Unfinished business, we'll bring that up, all right?
Got it done.
Yeah, all right. Let's move on to unfinished business, good. Yeah, unfinished
Oh, I
business.
just wanted to commend Andrew for writing apparently the magic letter and contacting BP Patrol to get that dangerous structure taken down.
And that's from our ordinance that the dangerous structure ordinance that we passed, so it, it's nice to see.
Now, they still have,
Saturday.
they still have those big orange thing. Is there still a sinkhole in there?
It actually, I would say it's worse instead of better. I hate to look a gift horse in the mouth, but yeah, congratulations to everyone is down. It's been quite a while. But on the back side of that, where the service station used to be, there's nothing. There's that orange plastic fence, okay? And those 3 barriers. Well, before the service station blocked the one side, we'll stop blocking anything now. So I'm gonna call the EPA and see what we can do. I mean, it's a dangerous, I'm glad it's down, like I said, it was an eyesore.
Well, that's another step.
Yeah, but big step 1's done.
And
I would say,
streetlights accomplished, so that's good.
I would say, you sure you're not coming back?
The contractor's not done yet.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I still wanna contact it, because,
So you can.
I mean, that's a stream that's being channeled down through there in Jersey barriers. There's no culvert pipe or anything like that.
The culverts are being made.
Yeah, that she had told me, I know the woman from Public Petroleum had told me that they were going to repair that, whatever the sinkhole or whatever it was.
But
Which, that's what she told me, it's because I was
The contractor
specifically
did that.
mentioned that as well.
I know, but I don't want them to go in there and fill that in, and we have no clue what they did. It's not that I don't trust them, but I would like at least to have someone, I hate to get the government involved in anything, but, at least oversee what they're doing is doing right. I don't want to put a piece of galvanized steel over there and it rust out in 5 or 10 years and fill that culvert up, which isn't a culvert, it's a diversion ditch, basically. And that, that's
As soon as
my
they,
concern.
as soon as they made the commitment to tear it down, they came out like that, so I'm sure they'll be back.
I hope that's a big liability right
But
there.
again, thank you and good job is in place. And I mean, throughout my history on council, that's a tough job. You usually gotta get to the point where you gotta take it to court before you get something done.
Yeah, but we didn't have that ordinance before either.
I know, but still, they put it along.
Yeah, and that was a great letter.
I thought it'd be 2 years.
It's been a while.
Well, it's been a while.
Yeah, but, it might take a while, but at least it's done,
Didn't accomplish anything. but,
Sometimes it doesn't get done as soon as some people like, but it gets done. Most cases. All right, also in unfinished business, our new borough building is taking more shape. Foundation's up, part of the floor was poured, I see, so all the floors now being poured? Okay, well, that's good.
I think it'd be amazing how fast it's up. Mr. President, did they contact you about that removal of that sidewalk?
Say again?
They removed part of the sidewalk there. Bonnie, did somebody talk to you about that?
On Arthur Street?
Wait, wait,
To,
wait.
to run piping underneath.
Well, they just,
I seen it poured.
They poured it, yeah.
Yeah, I seen it poured. I'm just wondering because, you know, what I mean, it looks like it's poured on that. Yeah, I don't think there's a crack.
Hopefully it's thick enough, but they'll come back and report.
I mean, engineering.
I may have been a piece of sidewalk in that lot right there. Took the 4 slabs out.
Yeah, hopefully they did.
Hopefully it holds up, that's all.
One other thing under unfinished business, I did contact the pest control agent who's gonna spray our playground back here. And it was approved at last meeting for that payment. Bernie, I talked to him, he's gonna call me with a date, and then I will call you to make sure you can meet with him up here and review the papers.
Who'd you get it from? Really?
Nope, I was in my wallet.
Is he above me?
I-
Where do you go?
Randy Smith, animal nuisance.
Worthy. Is he worthy?
I think he's left.
Okay. Pardon me.
Okay, anything else under unfinished business? I had one thing, the audit. Did the auditors present have the audit to be turned in today?
No, we finally just emailed back and forth with Carly today and got her sign on, which I still don't agree with. But no, that was at 3:30, so no, the audit is not done. And the process is we file it online, print it off, and that's what we give to you guys. So no, it's not to hand in tonight.
And reason being,
Because I got the name and password at 3:30 this afternoon and I was at my real job. And so I didn't get home till almost 5 o'clock, and we're figuring it's gonna take probably 2 or 3 hours, and we're gonna do it on a Saturday so that we can sit and do the whole thing instead of starting it at 6 or 6:30 at night and having a problem and being working on it till midnight.
at this, but you're saying at this time it can be filed.
Yes,
Carly can file this.
No.
I don't file it. They do.
They-
So you guys have to sit down together and.
No.
I don't have any involvement with it.
Okay.
no. She gave me her username and password because I wanted it just to, a month ago, when I emailed you that paper for you to sign and put the seal on, that allows DCED to say, okay, yeah, you can file. That was on the 8th or the 6th or whatever the heck it was. Then it was decided that my home email address can't be used by you guys. And actually, that email address is only for sign-on capability. And then after the audit is done, you get an email back saying it was submitted. The email address doesn't really mean anything other than you get confirmation that the audit has been filed. That's the only link with the email address. But I got the information from Carly and we're done fighting about it, so we're just gonna do it, but that was at 3:30 or 4 o'clock. 3:30-ish, Carly, I think, was when that happened.
Right.
And I don't carry those papers around with me, and I wasn't gonna sit and do it by
I just
myself.
got a question for you, Carol. I just heard you said you were done fighting about it. Is the borough giving you a fight with it, or what are you done fighting with?
Well, it's because we wanted to do it on the 6th or the 8th with my email, my home email address.
But I mean, none of us guys up here are holding up your audit, right? I mean, the audit's not here today because things you.
Because it needs filed.
But I'm saying, you're saying that we're done fighting. Nobody up here is fighting. We want the audit, that's all we want.
Well, and we wanted to do it, but we weren't allowed to do it how we wanted to do it. So, okay, we'll just follow it under Carly's. But the thing is we were concerned that if they don't get, how are we gonna know that it was actually submitted and didn't get screwed up being submitted?
Let's block that, please.
All I'm concerned is nobody up here is holding you back. I I mean, excuse me, I haven't been here the last couple of months. I worked a 12-day shift, and I just want to make sure that the reason this isn't being held up is from these council members up here.
Today we got Carly's information. We're just gonna do it under Carly's sign-on. Hopefully somebody will let me know if it actually gets submitted, because we won't get the email, so we don't know. If you submit it and it goes to limbo, like, let us know that it gets submitted.
Yeah, well,
You will know immediately when.
but you just said that the email address had nothing to do with it.
No, the email address, yeah. Once we file it, using your username and password.
Right.
You'll get the email that says it's been submitted.
Right.
We won't know that it,
That's-
if it
yeah,
got
you're right.
there or not.
That's true. Yeah, make sure you contact us and make sure you
Yeah.
contact the
But I
auditor.
did contact the Governor's Center for Local Government Services, and they told me on the phone today that it could have been filed by paper.
But see, now I asked that Patricia that
She said
2 or 3 months ago, and she said no, it had to be done online. And on that green form, there's a green form that says what counties have to do it which year, because they don't want the whole state to do
Right,
it at one
and
time.
Armstrong County's under 2013.
Except the 20, everything else 2013 and the audit for 2012, because we asked for that. That Patricia,
Bunn, or Antelatona.
I don't know, it has a vowel at the end of the name.
Antelatona or something, yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
she said no.
Okay, regardless, we're on the right path right now, so when you say.
We're
you're
hoping to
meeting
sit down and do it
this
on
Saturday?
Saturday, because I think Sherry's off on Saturday.
This Saturday.
Because I don't want to start it at 6 o'clock at night and be up till midnight working on the audit. We just have to fill in all the boxes, and we know sometimes that online adventure doesn't always run as smooth as it should.
My question is, we want to have a special meeting, have it presented? I mean, I'd like to have this thing underneath us, in the books, out of here, the records back.
Yeah, we could call a special meeting to have it turned into council.
Yeah, I mean, you've had the records for, what, since February, January?
March.
February.
it was the beginning of February.
It was a February council meeting, February 3rd or whatever.
There were maybe a few minor things that were handed to you after the fact, that
Yeah,
you requested,
payroll.
like insurance binders and things like that.
Oh, yeah, that was way after, because we didn't get to that right away.
Well,
Well,
that's just
then-
my question is, what do we want to do for this? I mean, I'd like to put a deadline finish to this, get it underneath, get it in the books, get the book records back, put them in place. So, I don't know, what's your,
No, no, I mean, once the
report?
audit is filed and Carly contacts the auditors and us that it's done, it's a done deal at that point.
Work on a report, if we got changes we make, council.
Right. I mean, it doesn't, at that point, does it have to be turned into the public meeting of council, the audit,
I think it needs to be presented.
presented, just turned in?
It needs to be filed and presented at the public meeting with the records.
Oh, okay, yeah, because the records have to be turned in too. So if this happens this Saturday, then when do you foresee a time where we could have a special meeting so you could turn in the audit?
After that, but let us do it on Saturday and make sure it all happens. I don't want you guys to set a meeting for next Tuesday, and then for some reason it gets all crazy and doesn't, I mean, we all know online things don't always work as well as they should, especially government.
Why don't you keep Carly posted on that then?
But the hall next week is booked. We had that while we sell.
It's anytime after next week.
No, they're here from Tuesday to Tuesday. A week from tonight, they come in and then they leave the next
Yeah,
Tuesday.
recess meeting.
So,
So,
the 18th or afterwards. The Wednesday or after.
Yeah, I'd really like to get it done next week.
I'd like to get it finished myself. I mean, do you think you can have it done before next week?
Well, I mean, that's what we asked her. I mean, like she said, I mean, there's some variables that are unknown. Hopefully that doesn't happen. You know, today's the 3rd. And you said, when's the hall not available?
a week from tonight,
The 10th to the
they start
17th.
coming in until the next Tuesday. Then they'll be done.
So either the 9th or the 18th.
To me, it doesn't matter if we have the meeting the day before the next meeting. You know what I mean? Just the idea of the time.
Let's shoot for the 18th then. Hopefully everything's done by then.
To me, it's time. That's,
Yeah.
it should be done by
Well, yeah, because I'm just afraid if you schedule it for Monday,
No,
trouble
no.
on Saturday, and have to call them on
No,
Monday
I'm
and get it
we're
done.
to work with you on this.
Know what
I
I
mean,
mean?
it's a give and take here. So the 18th. We'll have I like the idea of a recess meeting, Bernie.
Recent.
We will call a special meeting, we'll recess this meeting, and at that point, there'll be no advertisement other than what you hear tonight, and the only order of business at that meeting will be the auditors turning in the audit, West County Council, after they file. Make sure that's included in the minutes, please. 18th. Remind me.
That's a Wednesday, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Same time, 6:30. Okay. Any other unfinished business? Let's move to new business.
Do you want to, do the report on the resume conducted from the police?
Yeah. Yes, please.
Want to do enough?
Yes.
We had advertised for a part-time police officer.
That was, part of our executive session was, the first one was finance, which was the audit. The second was personnel, which is the police.
We received four resumes, and we'll turn them into the personnel committee to review and interview. So we should have something in the next meeting.
Did you say 4?
Yeah. There's one in there.
So we'll turn those over to the personnel committee to interview the candidates and then turn in a recommendation to council for approval. Thanks, Ken. Any other new business? I can give that to somebody else to question.
Do you want to make a motion to pay these 3?
Yeah, if you read them all.
Okay, we'll do.
Okay, this is a new building related information that Carly's gonna be reading here.
Okay, the first payment request is from Enders Plumbing and Heating. This is their first request for payment in the amount of $7,425 for work done between July 25th and August 31st, 2013. It was reviewed and approved of by the engineer, and I will submit it to F&M Bank to pay from our line of credit / letter. So the first one we need a motion for is for Enders Plumbing first payment request in the amount of $7,425.
Just read them off, I'm not sure. If you read them off, I make the motion to cover all 3.
Yeah, there should be no reason why
Three
not.
separate?
Read them all. Yeah.
I would do 3 separate, so I mean, so you just read them all.
There's something wrong with one. Okay.
Just ignore one.
No, we're gonna do all 3 separate.
Okay, well, I make a motion to pay $7,425.
$425.
$425.
Motion by Ken, is there a second? Second by Nancy. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? That is opposed to a new building in West County for all the residents. It's gonna be, rubbish.
You got to pay for it.
Yeah, I mean, we may, well, anyhow.
Okay, the second is from Current Waves, the electrical contractor. It's their first payment request, the work completed between July 25th and August 13th, in the amount of $4,365. Current Waves.
The motion to pay current wage $4,365.
Second.
Second by Bernie Senior. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? 3-1. And
To be quite honest with you, I thought I met with all the contractors, but I don't think I met with current wage. Anything else you want?
They were there that day.
Were they?
for the pre-bid or post bid?
The
Which one?
the pre-construction meeting.
I thought I met all of them, I obviously he's, crossed my mind, must be quiet.
Yeah, I think it was the by me to my left.
I just don't
Okay.
know.
How is that 3-1 if there's 5 of them?
4-1.
Okay.
I'm so used to just having one.
That one was also reviewed, approved by the engineer.
As all are, I mean,
Yeah. Okay, the third is from Infinity Crane and Excavation, the general contractor. Their second payment request, work completed between July 31st and August 30th, in the amount of $19,326.85.
Make a motion to pay Infinity Crane $19,326.85.
motion by Ken, is there a second on the floor by Bernie Senior? All in favor? Aye, opposed, 1, 4-1, in favor.
Now, some of this money is anticipated on spent already for them guys. I mean, it's just not like they did $20,000 of work up there. That's money to pay for the next process too. So everybody looks up and says, oh, you put the concrete.
Plus they have materials on site.
Right, and like I said, a lot of the stuff that they're anticipating this week. It's not money, so.
Do they fill out a schedule of values, or they just fill just a?
Yeah,
value?
I have all the, you know, like the,
Breakdown.
AIA just seems around.
yeah, the standard form, which shows the work completed, scheduled value, work completed, previous work completed, and their retainage and everything.
Anything else under
So,
new business?
I'm out.
As far as the bills? Okay. No? No more? So this is the next order of new
Yeah.
business. We received 3 bids for paving. You want to read them, Andrew? You want me to? Go ahead. Here's my Okay, the first bid is from Derry, D-E-R-R-Y, Construction Company Incorporated, Latrobe, PA.
Derry. D.
D-E-R-R-Y. Their bid being $23,545.95. Again, that's $23,545.95. Review to make sure that they have. Second bid is from A initial, Folino, F-O-L-I-N-O Construction, Oakmont, PA. Again, it's A initial, Folino, F-O-L-I-N-O Construction, Oakmont, PA. For a total of $28,724.40. Again, that's $28,724.40. The third and final bid is from Force Incorporated, Indiana, PA. For a total of $23,522.25. Again, that's $23,522.25. Okay, we'll let our solicitor review, make sure everything's in order there. And I'll need a motion to proceed with the lowest bid.
Well, I just want to add, that I've never heard of either one of these. I've heard of AP Flynn, I mean, use that bids on him prior.
Jerry and Force both bid last year.
Did he do any work?
Derry, if I may, Derry is extremely large. successfully a few years ago. He did successfully clear the county area out of there.
And he is familiar.
And so he's extremely, he's big time force. The force agency, you know, you've got $32 difference. Right, because you got that much on the table. That's the first bit. It rattles your mind, you know. But
Any pros or cons to force?
no, the force was, I'm waiting to hear from the solicitor to see if the bonds are appropriate.
Yeah, there's bid bonds for all of them.
All three.
Okay.
Well, that's why I just went back and checked on the floor. Anybody here from-
Force had a bid last year and he was second.
Yeah, and he lives locally. He lives over along Butler Road.
He's out of Indiana.
Yeah, but the gentleman who prepared the bid lives right over there. You know, Kilmore House, you know, where Kilmore used to live.
I don't know. Well,
My question, another question, is they really have a time frame on 3 bidders?
yes, there is. It's written in on the spec sheet.
They have to start.
Yep,
Yes.
when it has to be completed.
I don't think it's snowed yet.
And I want to make sure he understands that spec sheet. That you gave us your copy of the spec sheet.
I gave him everything.
You see it there, sir?
Work to be,
It's a long list of specs.
work to be completed on or before October 11th, 2013. After October 11th, 2013, liquidated damages applied at the rate of $870 per calendar day.
And there's another one in italics here. The first one. What's it say?
I'm not sure.
The first spec from the top.
I don't know what you're talking
It's part of the contract.
But
Right above where you were at there. Top of the sheet.
about. Yeah.
On the sheet you were just on. What's that paragraph, what's that sentence say?
Notify the municipality 5 working days prior to start of project.
Okay.
I mean, there's a bunch of things.
Well, yeah.
That key is completed by October
Yeah,
11th, so.
yeah, my initial response to asking that question was they're not gonna start till October 30th, 2010.
Right.
Snow next
And that's
year.
just a month
Go up
away
the street. Yeah, well, I think
now.
October would be fine, as long as we have it done now.
Right.
Yeah.
In
You know,
the past,
yeah.
go ahead.
No, I'm sorry, yeah.
In the past, it doesn't happen very often. The contractors come back and say, oh, I didn't read that. I just signed it off,
Well, tough.
you know. So if we award this has to be explained.
It shouldn't have to be
No, you got
explained.
me.
They can read.
Well,
I mean, that's a contract. They're in a contracting business. I see what you're saying, but that's why you write a contract up like
That's
this.
exactly what happened this year. Oh, I didn't read it, I just signed it. The secretary gave it to me, I signed it. I didn't read it, I signed it.
Well, oh well, that's part of the business. And the penalties written in there also. If they didn't read that, so they're gonna get penalized.
99% of the time, they comply with the dates. I mean, throughout.
Unless there's a
Throughout history.
catastrophic weather event.
I mean, I'm comfortable with October.
Ed, you have a question on
I'll make a motion, sir, that we award to the lowest bidder. Prior to him signing the, that he does initial, that he understands.
Okay, motion by Bernie Senior, deal with lowest bidder, which would be Force Incorporated, Indiana, PA. And also, we ran into this earlier, and if something would, correct me if I'm wrong, Andrew, that we could go to the next responsible bidder.
Yeah.
Make sure you include that in your motion, in case something would fall through with Force, so a motion on to go with Force, or the next responsible bidder if a problem arises. So the motion on the floor by Bernie Senior to go with Force, is there a second? Second by Ed, all in favor? Aye, opposed, unanimous? So you will make sure you carry that.
Yeah.
Anything else? Just tell them.
anybody's interested in having any kind of work done from this contractor, obviously that's a good bid. That's a good price on blacktop. So they call the, pass the word, they call the board sheds. And so,
Should we
now, the
contact
board
them?
want having to do that, understand, all they do is put you in contact with the contractor.
Or should I contact the contractor directly?
You call
I'm
them.
interested.
Yeah, call them.
I mean, I just wanna check my, I'm not even. All right, I can't remember what, it's not in my notes. All right, there's no other new business, I'll need a motion to pay the bills.
One of the problem was to draw the bill extension.
Motion by Bernie Senior, is there a second? Second by Ken. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Unanimous? Two in a row.
Sorry, sexy.
At this time, I'll need a motion for adjournment. Motion by Ed.
Point of order, sir.
Point of order.
We're talking about recess.
Make a motion.
Oh, see, I knew I'd forget, thank you. A motion to recess meeting